Welcome to Outlaw Chronicles, where we embark on a captivating journey through the tumultuous and enigmatic history of Billy the Kid. Known for his daring escapades, quick draw, and complex legacy, Billy the Kid is a figure who continues to fascinate and mystify. From his humble beginnings to his rise as one of the most infamous outlaws in the American West, every chapter of his life tells a story of survival and defiance. Today, we unveil the fascinating facts and tales that make Billy the Kid truly unique. Let's dive in and discover the legend and mystery of the Kid. Billy the Kid's story begins not in the wide-open spaces of the West, but in the bustling city of New York. Born Henry McCarty, on November 23, 1859, Billy's early life was marked by hardship. Orphaned by the age of 15 after his mother's death from tuberculosis, Billy was thrust into a life of uncertainty. His stepfather, unable to manage the restless and independent boy, left him to fend for himself. This period of abandonment and loneliness likely fueled the rebellious spirit that would define Billy's short and infamous life. After a series of minor thefts, including the infamous incident of stealing clothes from a Chinese laundry, Billy found himself on the wrong side of the law. His first arrest at the tender age of 16 marked the beginning of his criminal career. Escaping from jail shortly after his arrest, Billy embarked on a life of drifting and lawlessness, moving from one town to another in the rugged territories of Arizona and New Mexico. It was during these years that Billy honed his skills as a gunfighter, gambler, and horse thief, laying the foundation for his future as an outlaw. Billy's transformation from a troubled youth to an outlaw of national renown was cemented during the Lincoln County War, a bloody conflict that erupted in New Mexico in the late 1870s. The war was a complex and violent power struggle between two factions competing for control of the lucrative cattle and merchant businesses in the region. Billy, fiercely loyal to his employer, John Tunstall, saw Tunstall's murder as a deep betrayal and joined the Regulators, a group formed to avenge his death. This conflict not only shaped Billy's reputation as a relentless avenger, but also thrust him into the spotlight as one of the most notorious figures in the West. Despite his growing reputation as a cold-blooded killer, those who knew Billy often described him as charming, well-spoken, and even kind-hearted. This duality made him a complex figure, an outlaw who could win people over with his boyish grin, even as he lived a life on the run. It was this charm that helped him make allies and escape from seemingly impossible situations, including his daring breakout from the Lincoln County Courthouse in 1881, a feat that further solidified his legend. Billy's escape from the courthouse is one of the most legendary moments in his career. Sentenced to hang for his crimes, Billy managed to overpower his guards, killing 2 deputies before vanishing into the night. His escape was meticulously planned, taking advantage of his captor's complacency and his intimate knowledge of the courthouse. This daring escape not only added to his legend, but also set the stage for his final confrontation with Sheriff Pat Garrett, a man whose name would become inextricably linked to Billy's fate. As we delve deeper into the life of Billy the Kid, it becomes clear that his relationship with Pat Garrett is one of the most intriguing aspects of his story. Once friends who shared meals and stories, the two men found themselves on opposite sides of the law after Garrett became sheriff of Lincoln County. Garrett's election was, in part, due to the widespread fear of Billy's gang, and he took his role seriously. His relentless pursuit of Billy, culminating in the controversial shooting at Fort Sumner in July 1881, marked the end of an era in the American West. The details of that fateful night are still debated. Whether Billy was truly killed by Garrett or if someone else met their end that night remains one of the enduring mysteries of his legend. The image of Billy the Kid has been romanticized and mythologized over the years, but the reality of his appearance and life was far more nuanced. The most famous image of Billy is a tintype photograph that shows a slender, almost boyish figure with a wide-brimmed hat and a Winchester rifle, a stark contrast to the rugged gunslinger often depicted in movies. Despite his reputation, Billy was known for his slight build, standing around 5'7" with a fair complexion and blue eyes that hinted at his Irish ancestry. This boyish appearance contrasted sharply with the hardened criminal life he led, making his exploits even more remarkable. Billy's notoriety was fueled not just by his actions, but by the media of his time. Newspapers and dime novels sensationalized his exploits, often exaggerating his crimes and painting him as a ruthless killer and a larger-than-life figure. This portrayal helped to build the legend of Billy the Kid, transforming him from a local outlaw into a symbol of the untamed West. The media's role in shaping Billy's legacy cannot be understated, as it helped create the myth that has persisted for over a century, blending fact with fiction in a way that continues to captivate audiences. One of the more surprising aspects of Billy's life was his fluency in both English and Spanish. This linguistic ability allowed him to navigate the culturally diverse communities of New Mexico and build alliances with various groups, including Mexican ranchers and Native Americans. It also provided him with a certain level of protection, as he could move easily between different communities, blending in when needed and negotiating his way out of trouble. This ability to cross cultural boundaries made him even more elusive to those who sought to capture him. Billy, the Kid's story is not just one of violence and crime. It also includes moments of tenderness and romance. Known to be a ladies' man, Billy had several romantic entanglements throughout his life, the most famous being with Polita Maxwell, the sister of Pete Maxwell, at whose house Billy was ultimately killed. Some accounts suggest that Billy was planning to run away with Polita before his death, adding a tragic love story to his already complex narrative. This romance has been the subject of much speculation, with some suggesting that it was Polita's presence that led Billy to lower his guard, ultimately leading to his downfall. As we transition from the romance and legend to the aftermath of Billy's life, it's clear that even after his supposed death, the story of Billy the Kid was far from over. Numerous people came forward over the years, claiming to be the infamous outlaw or to have known him after 1881. The most famous of these claims came from Brushy Bill Roberts, who in 1950 sought a pardon from the governor of New Mexico, insisting he was Billy the Kid. Although his claim was widely discredited, it reignited public interest in the legend and further blurred the lines between fact and fiction. The Brushy Bill story added another layer to the mystery surrounding Billy's death, suggesting that the man who was shot in Fort Sumner may not have been the Kid after all. The influence of Billy the Kid on popular culture is vast and enduring. He has been the subject of countless books, movies, and songs, each interpretation adding new layers to his myth. From Paul Newman's portrayal in The Left-Handed Gun to Chris Christopherson's role in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, the character of Billy the Kid has evolved into a cultural icon, embodying the rebellious spirit of the American frontier. These portrayals have varied from sympathetic to villainous, reflecting the complex and multifaceted nature of Billy's legacy. Billy the Kid's grave in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, has become a site of pilgrimage for fans and history buffs alike. The gravestone, bearing the inscription "Pals," alongside the names of his fellow outlaws, has been stolen multiple times over the years, each theft adding to the mystique surrounding his final resting place. Today, the grave is surrounded by a chain-link fence to deter vandals, standing as a testament to the enduring fascination with Billy the Kid. Visitors to the grave often leave mementos and notes, paying homage to the outlaw who, in death, became larger than life. The ongoing debate about the true identity of Billy the Kid, whether he died at the hands of Pat Garrett or lived on under another name, continues to captivate historians and enthusiasts. Some researchers have even attempted to use modern technology, such as DNA analysis, to solve the mystery once and for all. However, the lack of conclusive evidence has only deepened the intrigue, leaving the story of Billy the Kid tantalizingly open-ended. This enduring mystery keeps Billy's legend alive, as new generations of historians and fans attempt to unravel the truth from the myth. The legacy of Billy the Kid is a powerful reminder of how history and legend can intertwine, creating stories that resonate across generations. While the real Billy the Kid was undoubtedly a flawed and complicated individual, the myths and legends that have grown around him reflect our collective fascination with the outlaw archetype, a figure who defies authority, lives by their own rules, and ultimately pays the price for their defiance. This duality has kept Billy the Kid's story alive, as both a cautionary tale and a celebration of the indomitable human spirit. As we reflect on the broader impact of Billy's life, it becomes clear that his story is not just one of an individual, but a symbol of the untamed West, a place where the lines between right and wrong were often blurred, and where legends were born from the dust and blood of the frontier. Whether he was a hero or a villain, Billy the Kid remains an enduring figure in American history, his story echoing through the canyons and plains of the West, reminding us of a time when the frontier was still wild and full of possibility. His story is one of survival, defiance, and the quest for freedom, themes that continue to resonate in a world that still grapples with the complexities of justice and morality. The resilience of Billy the Kid's legend extends beyond his life and death to the way his story has been preserved and retold over the years. His tale has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film, each exploring different facets of his character and the world he inhabited. From the gritty realism of historical accounts to the romanticized portrayals in westerns, Billy's story has been adapted and reimagined to fit the cultural needs of each generation. This adaptability is a testament to the enduring power of his legend and its relevance to American identity. As with the city of New Orleans, the story of Billy the Kid is not just written in books, but lived and celebrated through cultural expressions, reenactments, and pilgrimages to the places where he lived and died. The towns of Lincoln and Fort Sumner, where much of Billy's story unfolded, have become historical landmarks, attracting visitors who seek to walk in the footsteps of the legendary outlaw. These sites serve as living museums, preserving the history of the Wild West and the figures who shaped it. No exploration of Billy the Kid would be complete without acknowledging the impact of his story on American culture. Like New Orleans jazz and cuisine, Billy's legend is a cultural export that has shaped perceptions of the American West around the world. His story has become a symbol of rebellion, freedom, and the complexities of life on the frontier, resonating with those who see in Billy's tale a reflection of their own struggles against authority and fate. The Kid's legacy is a reminder that history is not just a series of events, but a narrative shaped by those who tell it. As we conclude our journey through the life and legend of Billy the Kid, it's clear that this outlaw is more than just a historical figure. He's a symbol of the wild, untamed spirit of the American West. From his daring escapes to the mysteries surrounding his death, Billy the Kid continues to captivate and inspire. If you're intrigued by the stories of figures like Billy the Kid, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to explore and share the incredible tales of history's most fascinating characters. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to uncover more legends together in our next video.